A good man is priceless, but a rich one is even better. What happens when a Southern belle wants to cash in?
There's something behind those beautiful eyes, and it ain't good.
Why does a woman who has it all lust for more?
I hear you need the money.
Not only did he have money, he had a title. I got a flush. I'll win.
And what makes a poor little rich girl turn bad?
I think she was on the hunt for a killer.
These deadly women do whatever it takes to get rich quick. November 2010. 27-year-old Tracy Grissom is in the ER. She tells a terrible story.
You can tell me what happened.
He raped me.
She points the finger at her ex-husband, Hunter.
Tracy claims that she was raped and sodomized by Hunter.
Okay. Call the police. It's okay.
7 years earlier in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Hunter Grissom's drawn to Tracy like a moth to a flame.
Who's that? Oh, yeah, that's Tracy. She's single, you know. Bye. Good luck.
She's a young divorcee with a 4-year-old son.
Very nice.
For him, it's love at first sight.
She too.
Any guy would have fell for that. She was gorgeous.
After a whirlwind romance, the young lovers marry. Their new life has a dream start, working together in their own business.
Hunter had a gift for building boat docks, and not just your average kind of dock, but very beautiful, elaborate structures.
He takes care of the nuts and bolts. Tracy takes care of the books.
They're gonna take on the world. They're gonna be entrepreneurs, and they're gonna make it.
At home, life is also looking good.
Hey, buddy. How's my boy?
Hunter treats Tracy's son like his own. And they soon have a daughter.
All-American family, white picket fence, the whole 9 yards. Middle class, suburbia, maybe the Prince Charming that she's been waiting for.
How we doing here?
On the surface, it's domestic bliss. But things aren't quite what they seem. Tracy has a secret addiction to prescription drugs.
Psychologically, there's something going on here. There's something behind those beautiful eyes. And it ain't good.
She also has a temper.
No! You clean that up now. You clean that up right now.
She doesn't just turn on the children.
That's my little angel.
She turns on Hunter.
This just causes more friction in the marriage. And where there's friction, there's fire.
Don't touch me. Just leave me alone.
What's wrong?
Don't touch me.
Can't do anything right.
No, you can't. It's on there.
Things go from bad to worse. Within 5 years, the marriage is officially over.
And that one's on there.
Tracy wants to make sure Hunter will always be able to provide for their children.
And sign there.
They agree that he takes out a life insurance policy.
We done?
We are done.
Hey, where'd you come from?
At 25, Hunter still has his whole life ahead of him. It's not long before he finds a new love.
He had a new girlfriend. He was living with her. He was moving on with his life.
But Tracy isn't. She's keeping tabs on her ex.
Hunter claims that Tracy's jealous, obsessive, even stalked him.
Tracy didn't seem to learn from her mistakes. She couldn't live with a man, couldn't live without one.
Just 1 month after their divorce, Tracy's having second thoughts. She invites Hunter around.
I want us to be family again.
Hunter's skeptical. He thinks it's the drugs talking.
Tracy took too much of her prescription sedative.
You're taking too many of those.
It would be the equivalent of drinking way too much alcohol.
Tracy! Come on. Get up now.
Her speech was slurred. Her balance was unsteady. She fell and cut her head.
I'm so depressed. I want to kill myself.
Don't say that. Come on. Get up. Come on, you need to lay down.
Ow.
Hunter's concerned for his ex-wife and soon finds himself in an awkward situation.
You okay?
Please stay.
I should probably go.
Why don't you stay here?
Stupid, stupid, stupid activity number 1. Never have sex with an ex that's crazy. He played right into her hand,
Yes.
so to speak.
Almost immediately, Hunter realizes he's made a big mistake.
Hunter?
Hello?
Where are you?
Something's going on here.
Why aren't you here with me and the kids?
Something big is about to happen.
Do I need to get a lawyer?
What is it? I bet Tracy knows.
In the fall of 2010, divorcees Tracy and Hunter Grissom have one night together for old time's sake. That should have been the end of it.
What can I do for you, officers?
Hunter Grissom,
Yes, ma'am.
you're under arrest for the rape of Tracy Grissom.
Can't be serious.
He raped me.
But Tracy is accusing her ex-husband of rape.
Tracy said all kinds of horrible things that Hunter did to her, including raping her, sodomizing her, leaving her unconscious.
I'm telling you, she's lying. She's crazy. She's making it all up.
Hunter's version of that night is that he came to the house, and yes, they did have sex, but that there was no rape.
Tracy sticks to her story, despite a complete lack of evidence.
A forensic exam in the emergency room revealed no evidence that there was any violent sex at all.
All doctors find are minor abrasions, consistent with a fall. And something else doesn't add up.
And you lost consciousness when he threw you against the bed.
I was unconscious for hours.
Tracy claims she's knocked out cold for hours. But phone records suggest otherwise.
Her phone records indicate someone was texting and calling from her cell phone. It had to be Tracy. So she's caught in lies again. You know, there's a pattern here. And that pattern is about to turn very, very violent and bloody.
Hunter's defense team is building a case that will expose Tracy's lies. She can't let that happen.
Tracy Grissom was unraveling, slowly but surely.
This woman is absolutely out of her mind.
Tracy tracks Hunter to a boat dock, where he's at work with 2 colleagues.
She pulled up behind his boat trailer. She says that Hunter Grissom saw her. He shot her a mean look. She panicked. She saw his arm raised as if he was going to bust her window out.
She picks up the phone.
911, what's your emergency?
She calls 911 herself.
Tracy claims self-defense. But Hunter's workmates have front row seats.
Tracy claimed that Hunter was coming towards her in a threatening manner. Witnesses said the opposite was true. I'm gonna go with them.
The police diagram tells me that Hunter was moving away when he was shot. The last 2 bullets to the back, in all likelihood, punctured his heart. Hunter died from massive internal bleeding.
And there's one more thing Tracy isn't telling the police. A call she made one day before the shooting.
I'm calling in regards to my husband's life insurance policy, Hunter Grissom.
Tracy had decided to kill Hunter, but before she did, she wanted to make sure that insurance policy was in force.
Can I confirm you've got my current address?
It wasn't a coincidence that she called to verify the information the day before she killed him.
Sound there?
Prosecutors said that Tracy was motivated by a $103,000 life insurance policy.
Tracy Grissom is found guilty of second-degree murder. She receives 25 years in prison.
Tracy Grissom could be described as controlling, vindictive, vengeful.
When Hunter first laid eyes on Tracy, he imagined a happy future. What he got was a life cut short by greed and envy.
Hell hath no fury like that of Tracy Grissom, scorned.
Some women use their looks to find love.
She was a stunning beauty.
Love you, mommy.
Others cash them in for riches.
Jamila liked men who would open their wallet.
But when they do both, watch out.
This is one of the most twisted murders I've ever come across.
42-year-old Jamila M'barek knows how to strut her stuff.
She was a stunning beauty, and she had ambitions to use that beauty to get on in life.
We're on set. The director was shouting at this guy's assistant.
What's his story? He's a big-time producer.
She mixes with high society on the French Riviera.
Jamila boasted about being with hundreds of men, including celebrities. That was the most important thing in her life.
But there's nothing cheap about Jamila. She's an expensive, high-class hooker.
She chose to make her living with her body, not her brain.
She would be able to charge the equivalent of thousands of pounds for a night with one of these guys.
But Jamila doesn't need the money. She's married to a millionaire.
This is a very wealthy man. You would think that would be enough. She would think, I've made it, you know? But it wasn't enough.
She's only a wife and mother in the day.
Jamila secretly was working as a prostitute. She didn't have to do that. She wanted to do that.
You're unbelievable.
Just been with friends.
That tells me everything I need to know about Jamila.
I know exactly where you've been. You whore.
What Jamila really needed to feel good about herself was to be paid for by men. And marriage to a millionaire became boring.
You disgust me.
Good night.
Not surprisingly, the union ends in divorce.
Instead of taking the children with her, she dumped them and continued working as a prostitute and escort.
It's not her children Jamila is worried about. It's her fading looks.
She knew what the punters were looking for, and she knew that they would be after younger flesh very soon.
Without a millionaire husband, Jamila feels vulnerable. She starts looking for another sugar daddy.
Jamila was desperate for wealth and status, and she turned to her own body and her beauty to try and achieve that.
In 2001, Jamila hits the jackpot.
I hear you need the money.
I've been a very naughty boy.
He's a 64-year-old English aristocrat.
Are you going to be good?
No, Mommy.
With an eccentric taste in sex.
Do you want another one?
Lord Cooper, Earl of Shaftesbury,
Harder?
Yes.
is not only kinky, he's fabulously rich.
The Earl of Shaftesbury was born into an incredibly wealthy background. He was, as they say, born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
This is an aristocratic family that's always been rated within the top 10 richest families in the whole of the United Kingdom.
Tired of being lord of the manor, the Earls moved to France. Jamila can see a whole new future.
When Jamila got hooked up with Lord Cooper,
Do you want another one?
she thought she'd won the lottery.
Harder.
Not only did he have money, he had a title.
Jamila circles the Earl like a vulture, happy to indulge him with drugs and sex.
She certainly knew how to work men. And she worked Lord Cooper.
I have news that may upset you. We're having a baby. I don't want us to have a bastard child.
At heart and soul, he's an English gentleman.
And we won't.
He said, right, we must get married. We must legitimize this child.
You will be the next Lady Shaftesbury. I love you, Mummy.
Jamila got exactly what she wanted. Within a year of that first meeting, she'd married the Earl and even got herself the title of Countess.
Jamila rockets from escort to aristocracy.
Jamila is a deeply devious person. She used her beauty and she used her brains in order to lure the Earl into a spider's web.
She's sitting on a fortune, and there's just one thing in her way.
He was there, lamb to the slaughter.
What are you doing?
In France, call girl Jamila M'barek has struck gold.
You will be the next Lady Shaftesbury.
Really?
Riches beyond belief, riches beyond being able to be counted.
She marries English aristocrat, the Earl of Shaftesbury. And they're expecting a baby.
He had married her because she told him that she was pregnant, But after a month or two, there was no sign of any baby.
I told you, I'm one of those women who doesn't show.
He began to get the suspicion that he'd been conned.
It's been 6 months. What do you take me for?
In truth, the pregnancy is just a means to Jamila's ends. She wants out of the relationship, but not out of the marriage.
She said, all right, you want the truth.
I got an abortion.
What?
I'm not having a baby with a man who calls me mother during sex.
But I don't believe, and I don't think anyone believed, that that would have put her off.
Jamila wants to be rejected, but not divorced, and the Earl unwittingly obliges.
Get out!
Even after their separation, the Earl was paying an allowance to Jamila of $11,000 a month.
They remained married, and she went through his money. It was a perfect setup for her.
But not for long. The Earl finds another pretty woman.
You are special.
The Earl met another high-class escort called Nadia and started to profess his undying love for her.
He now wants to divorce Jamila so he can marry another prostitute.
Yes? What is it?
Pardon, sir, but your wife is here.
All right. All right.
In order to marry Nadia, of course, the Earl was going to have to divorce Jamila.
I won't be a minute.
Darling, I missed you so much.
Don't touch me.
And there is no way she wanted to get divorced. That would mean losing her allowance, her lifestyle, and everything.
I've come to apologize. I'm sorry.
Forget it. It's over. My lawyers will be in touch. Please show her out.
That's when she starts plotting with her brother, Mohammed.
Mohammed is the perfect accomplice.
He is a very dangerous character. Basically, he's a psychopath, but he can be useful.
Jamila told him she would pay him $150,000 if he helped kill the Earl.
I think.
In a heartbeat, Mohammed said, I'll be there to kill for you.
The brother and sister were bonded in violence since their childhood. Their alcoholic father regularly beat them.
So she came from a very, very traumatic background.
Obviously, such a traumatic past that you cannot just dump that baggage.
Jamila's brother, Mohammed, was just as bad as she was.
On their second wedding anniversary, Jamila calls her estranged husband.
She calculatingly used that fact to draw him over.
I know we get a divorce. I just wanted to be civilized. Thank you. He's coming.
Good.
On November 5th, 2004, the Earl is not sure what to expect.
Jamila, you're looking well.
Mohammed? You remember my brother?
What's he doing here? What are you doing?
Making sure I get my fair share. Kill him!
He didn't use a gun, a knife. He used his bare hands and strangled the life out of him. Jamila stood there and watched.
After Mohammed had killed the Earl, he and his sister, Jamila, put the body in the boot of a car and drove to the Alps to dump it.
They are confident the Earl will never be found in this remote part of the French Alps.
I want my money this week.
You'll get it.
One of the richest men in Europe can't disappear for long. Within days, police are asking Jamila where he is. She claims ignorance, but her phone records tell a different story.
There was a phone call about having to give blood money to her brother for what he had done.
And Jamila's bank account confirms a suspicious payment.
In the week after the murder, 150,000 was transferred from her account into her brother's account.
But there's still no body. Until 5 months later, hikers discover the Earl's remains in an area investigators know Jamila visited.
Madam, have you been to this area before?
No.
They had her cell phone records that pinpointed that it's that spot.
That is very interesting, because we have cell phone records proving that you were in the area.
Eventually, Jamila cracks. She and her brother confess, not to murder, but accidental death. She claims they wanted to frighten her husband, but the beating got out of hand. The jury doesn't believe her. Everything points to premeditation. In 2007, Jamila and Mohammed M'barek are convicted of murder. Both are sentenced to 25 years in prison.
I have felt empathy and sympathy for some killers. Jamila's not one of them. Jamila married Lord Cooper because she thought she could buy respectability. When it didn't work out, she murdered respectability.
Next, when a woman loses what she loves most.
All the assets were seized. So Shane lost everything.
Her man had better watch out.
He would do anything for her.
Or pay the ultimate price.
She was a very cruel-hearted woman.
Gatlinburg, Tennessee.
Peter, let me introduce my daughter, Shane.
Shane Mills is rich, beautiful, and spoiled.
I've heard a lot about you too, Mr. Samuel.
Shane Lovera was treated like a little princess when she was a girl and a teenager.
I'm so proud of her.
But Shane wasn't born into wealth.
Her mother and she were poor, and her mother met Brent Mills, who was a bank president, and they married into that family, and Brent adopted Shane.
Now, thanks to Brent, Shane lives the high life.
I want to be a broadcast anchor.
So you're looking at the next Diane Sawyer.
Brent Mills was a very prominent person, had a lot of friends, had been good to a lot of people. And so he was well regarded.
But in 1984, cracks appear in the Mills' perfect world.
We're looking into several of your accounts where there appear to have been, let's say, odd transactions.
Brent's bank is probed for financial malpractice.
The bank that Brent managed was under investigation. That quickly turned into Brent was under investigation.
What do you mean by odd?
Brent Mills was under some pressure. There were all kinds of differing allegations about his involvement.
This is an outrage. Waste as much time as you want.
During the investigation, Brent makes a fateful decision.
He takes his own life, the family's held up to public ridicule, and then all the assets were seized. That was the trifecta of loss.
Oh, that's just outrageous.
Well then, honey, don't read it.
Shane went from being one of the richest girls in Gatlinburg to having nothing
But how can people be so insensitive?
right as she's graduating high school.
Shane couldn't deal with it.
You can't worry about what other people say. Don't let it get to you.
I won't.
Shane flees to college in Missouri to escape the gossip and scandal. But she's deeply affected by her loss.
Shane absolutely was left adrift without Brent, so she definitely would have been in search of a father figure, really.
Enter kind-hearted fellow student, 20-year-old Kelly Lovera.
Hard at it.
Not for long. Jenny's having a party. You coming?
I'm studying. I suggest you do the same.
No, I need a break.
Shane's big dream was to become a famous TV broadcaster, but she didn't want to do the work.
While Kelly studies hard to be a teacher, Shane prefers to have a good time.
You sure you don't want to come? It'll be fun.
He was very calm. He was gracious.
One of us has to graduate.
He was polar opposite to Shane. So in a lot of ways, he sort of fell under her shadow.
No kiss?
Despite their differences, within a year, they get married.
Why she married Kelly is beyond my comprehension. Shane wanted the finer things in life without working for them. He was a struggling student whose goal was to get an advanced degree and be a math teacher.
Shane returns to her hometown in Tennessee. But she no longer lives on Millionaire's Row. Now her address is Frog Alley.
Frog Alley is where the working poor live. To come back and settle in Frog Alley would have been extremely embarrassing to her.
Kelly's teacher's salary barely covers the bills. And now they have 2 kids to support.
Okay, I want to see your cards first.
But Shane's not the motherly type. She likes to party.
I got a flush. I win.
And regularly invites men home, right in front of her family.
I think Shane got tired of being a mom probably within a few years of having her 2 children.
What you need?
Okay, I need one. What have you got for me?
Shane wanted to be free and single and date lots of guys.
Not bad.
That's exactly how she acted.
I like what I'm seeing.
Except she was a mom and a wife.
Okay, it's bath time.
You deal with them. I'm entertaining.
Okay, let's go.
When Kelly's busy with the kids, Shane's busy with her lovers.
Shane started having affairs, multiple affairs at the same time, in her apartment complex.
But she's looking for more than just sex.
You're so much better than Kelly.
Well, I don't believe him then.
Or you could poison him.
Shane started joking around to her lovers about the possibility of poisoning her husband. They thought she was joking,
I'm serious.
but she was testing the waters.
Yeah, right.
I think she was on the hunt for a killer.
Mom Shane Lovera is cheating on her husband, Kelly. Most of her lovers are happy to just fool around, but neighbor Brett Ray is smitten.
Brett fell very hard for Shane. So they began an affair very quickly, and it was hot and heavy.
Shane's not just attracted to Brett for his looks.
Brett was a rich kid by virtue of his father. His father was a newspaper publisher. He was a well-to-do guy.
Brett stands to inherit one day, but until then, he lives life in the fast lane.
He was just wild. He was just one of these people that was full on all the time. He was up for anything.
For Shane, wow, that's what she wanted.
I wish we could be together.
I'd do anything to be with you, baby.
Anything?
Anything.
Shane offers a deal.
If he would help her to get rid of Kelly, then he would get her. And that's what Brett wanted.
November 5th, 1994. Shane and Brett plan a night together. But Kelly is asleep on the couch.
It was then that Shane saw a perfect opportunity to kill him.
They haven't brought a murder weapon, so they grab what's at hand.
She chose to beat him over the head with a baseball bat when he was sleeping. And she did it in her own home with her children nearby. Not only did she take her children's daddy away, she gave them an indelible memory they will never be able to get over.
We need to make it look like an accident.
Yeah, okay.
Get him to the car.
The plan was to put him in his own vehicle and make it look like an accident.
Brett drives 10 miles to the edge of the city.
Once Brett found a good pull-off point, he stopped the Jeep. And he rolled the Jeep down the embankment.
Hours later, Kelly's body is discovered. It looks like he's run off the road. But why isn't he behind the wheel?
The evidence at the crash did not indicate that it would have been hard enough to have thrown him into the back seat.
Closer investigation raises more questions.
The blood pattern was all off. There was pooling of blood in the back instead of forward momentum on blood.
Police already suspect foul play when they call on Shane to inform her Kelly is dead.
Did your husband have any enemies?
Kelly had no enemies.
Shane plays the grieving widow. But an officer spots something. The crime lab team arrives with luminol.
Okay, hit the lights.
According to one of the officers, he described it as it lit up like a Christmas tree.
What do you think happened here?
Whatever Shane feels for her rich lover, it vanishes in the police interview.
Brett must have done it.
Why?
She weaves a tale of an insane man who killed her husband to get to her.
He's obsessed with me. I've always found him a little scary.
That's pure narcissism.
Incredibly, Brett takes the fall.
Shane had nothing to do with it. It was between me and Kelly. We got in a fight. I didn't mean to kill him.
You know, she's ready to throw you under a bus.
She had nothing to do with it.
Brett Ray put on no defense, which I thought was the ultimate act of love, but also the ultimate act of stupidity.
In 1995, Brett Ray is convicted of first-degree murder and gets life in prison.
He had the saddest eyes of any person I've ever seen in court.
Brett's loyalty doesn't save Shane. She too gets life for first-degree murder with a minimum of 25 years. Shane Lovera leaves 2 children with no parents and a husband who pays for her greed with his life.
Shane wanted what she wanted, and she wanted it now. And that meant Kelly had to die.
These deadly women wanted money more than love and cashed in their men. Tracy Grissom's greed, lies, and deceit end a good man's life. Jamila M'barek killed because too much was never enough. And Shane Lovera traded in her husband for a richer prospect. A trail of blood left by women who killed to get rich quick.